Hey everyone, and welcome back to Fitness Friday. This week we're going to be continuing our talk about the zones, and we're going to be looking at, in my opinion, the two most important zones to be training at: Zone 2, Endurance, and Zone 5, Vo2 MAX. So, without further ado, let's stick 4 minutes on the clock, and let's get started. So, Zone 2, Endurance, what's it all about? So, you got your FTP figure. Between 50 and 75% is Zone 2. The important thing with Zone 2 is also to work on heart rate, and you don't want to be going any higher than 85% of your max heart rate. So what's the benefits? When you're working at Zone 2, or what some people refer to as base building during the winter, it's a long, steady ride, hence the name Endurance. The benefit to it is you're going to increase the body's capacity to store glycogen, because what you'll be doing, instead of burning glycogen, you'll be adapting the body to burning fat as a fuel store, leaving those glycogen stores for a much harder effort. The slow twitch muscle fibers, you'll be developing them more because, as I said, Zone 2 is a longer endurance steady state. Lactic acid obviously is a byproduct of the body's consumption of fuel. Builds up the legs, makes you feel heavy. It makes it hard to work. The more work you do in Zone 2, the better the body becomes coping with the levels of lactate and transferring it back out through the blood so it can be reused as an energy source. So the clearing of the lactic acid is a process which is really important, and as I said, the more work we do at Zone 2, the more efficient the body becomes at doing that. So the improvement of clearing that lactic acid, which therefore allows you to train harder and faster and longer. Now, what's the downsides? If you want to become a sprinter, there is going to be hypertrophy of the fast twitch muscle fibers. So that's why you need to have a balanced workout. You can't just constantly do Zone 2 and say, well, this is a good workout. And it is. You're going to get adaptations across all the systems. However, you need to do specific workouts to target specific, as we talked about in last week's. So the dangers of working in Zone 2 is that you can slip into Zone 1, which is active recovery, and you ain't going to be getting enough stress on the body to get any benefit if you're just working in Zone 1. The other side of that is it's very easy to go a little bit too hard and drift up into tempo, which is Zone 3. And if you're doing tempo, then unfortunately you are, although you might not feel it initially, you're going to be working just a little bit too hard, which means that you won't be able to go for as long. So that when we talk about as long, your normal sort of optimal workout for endurance is going to be a continuous ride of at least 60 minutes, preferably 90, and anywhere up to 300 minutes. It's not an interval session, it's just a long, steady ride. So what does a workout look like? You're probably going to have a 50-minute warm-up, going through all the zones up to maybe just under Zone 4 maybe. And then bring it back down to Zone 2, and then that's it. You stay at that steady state for the duration, and then do a cool down. So, Zone 5, Vo2 MAX. This time, we're working super hard. We're working at about 106 to 120% of your FTP, and your heart rate is going to be anywhere above 106% of your maximum heart rate. Unlike Zone 2, the Vo2 MAX is definitely an interval session. It's not a long continuous ride. You're going to be doing anywhere between 3 and 8 minutes per interval. What does a workout look like? You know, a 50-minute warm-up and then into a Vo2 interval. So you're maybe going to do 5 reps, 3 minutes. So 3 minutes on, full on, drop it back down, probably doing maybe 6-minute recovery, and then repeat that, maybe do 5 sets, 5 repetitions, and then back down to active recovery. Much longer, you're maybe looking at about maybe 20 minutes by this point, and then repeat, and so on, and then cool down. And the benefits to Vo2 MAX, you're going to increase your plasma volume, so the amount of blood that you can carry down the body. You're going to increase muscle capillarization, so all the capillaries in your muscles, so the muscles can get that fuel from the oxygen system. You're going to increase your stroke volume, because your heart rate is for every beat of your heart, how much volume can your heart beat out your left ventricle. So by increasing volume, you're pumping more blood. The more blood, the more oxygen, the more nutrients that you can get out into the body. And obviously the more volume as well means the more waste products per beat can you draw away from those muscles when they're producing those waste products. And then the last thing, obviously, by working at Vo2 MAX, you're going to increase over time your Vo2 MAX. So, what's the downside to working at Vo2 MAX? Well, if you're working at Vo2 MAX, you're going to decrease, or you're going to increase the hypertrophy. So you're going to decrease the effect of the slow twitch fibers. So, as I said at the beginning, in my opinion, two most important zones to work at are 2 and 5. I have specifically missed out zone 4, threshold, because I think what we're going to do next week is we're going to talk about that. Because that is quite a meaty subject, and with that also comes testing for your FTP, because in order to work at threshold you need to know what your threshold is. So anyway, that is it for the end of today's video. We didn't quite make the time, never mind, but I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, drop me a thumbs up, hit that like button, tickle it, smash it, whatever takes your fancy, just make sure you're using it. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already, share the video, let's spread the love, and as ever, I'll see you again soon for a new video. Ride on.